Great. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad you were here, and we're so glad your parents were. Hopefully, they're with you, paying attention. Or if for some reason your parents or grandparents aren't able to make it tonight, we will be recording this, so you can watch it over the weekend or sometime before Tuesday. So, for any reason you need to go back and see anything, we've recorded this, and we'll get it posted to Schoology so that you can catch up. Great. I'm glad your mom is here. Perfect. So, we are going to talk about a few things. We have the ACT Aspire coming up next week, and the students will take a session of tests, one test a day. The tests are not too long, but we have been preparing all year for this. So we want to talk about some different things that will help make things go smoothly. Talk about, relaxing and not stressing out too much, but also making sure that we're on time. Also about a few different policies and just procedures, because these are state mandated tests. So there's a lot of rules that we have to follow, and we want to make sure we do everything just right. So and we want to make sure that parents and grandparents and everybody that helps support you knows what you're up to and what you've been learning and how hard you've been working. So I also want to say that everyone that attends or has family that attends tonight will get to participate in a free dress day on April the 23rd. So as soon as we're done with testing, the Friday after testing, we'll have a free dress day for that. And I've also got two Sonic gift cards to give away. We'll do that at the end. We'll do a little random drawing and try to maybe you can win something. So a little reward for coming. So our theme this year, as we've been getting ready for testing, has been getting our head in the game. We have been focused. We have been thinking about sports and kind of the sports analogy and how it takes a lot of hard work and effort and practice to win. But if you practice every day and you really give it your best, that hopefully we'll see the results that we want to see. We have encouraged. We have taught. Your kids have worked so hard. They have practiced with practice tests. They have practiced with reading and math skills and science. And the teachers have worked so hard and the kids have worked so hard. And so we know they're going to really do great. But there's a few things we can do over the next couple of weeks to just ensure that we are in the best mindset and the best place to give it our best effort. So Ms. Heathwaite and Ms. Thomason are our test coordinators, and they have done lots of work preparing for this assessment. If you're a virtual student or you have a virtual child, they have been in contact with you about transportation or about getting to school, and the days and the times and all of that. So y'all have probably already visited if you have a virtual child. If you have a child that has attended traditionally all year, you might not have heard from them, but they have been working at the school with your child, with the teachers, to make sure that we have everything set up to be as conducive as possible. So I will let them take it away. It looks like they have a link here for us to enter the raffle that they'll drop into the chat for you guys to click on. And that way it'll get your name in a random drawing for the raffle at the end. So Ms. Heathwaite or Ms. Thomason, if y'all can drop that link in the chat, because I don't think they can click on your presentation there, then y'all can fill that out, and then we will go ahead and get started with some things that you need to know. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I'm dropping this into the chat for you guys. All right. So the link should now be in the chat. Oh, hang on. There you go. And now it's in the chat.
Very good. So take a minute, click on that link in the chat. That will be your link to register so that we can do a little drawing. And whether you're virtual or traditional or blended, if you win, we'll make sure to get it to you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have done our welcome from Ms. Stevens, and she's kind of given you an overview of our agenda. We've put in the link into the chat. So next up is our purpose. We just kind of wanted to meet with you guys and let you know the importance of the ACT Aspire, why we take it, and kind of the trajectory for even our third graders, and the end goal being it holds us accountable for what we're going to do long term with your students, even going into middle school. So first and foremost, it helps us guide our instruction in terms of interventions and extensions of curriculum. So if a student is struggling in a specific area with specific skills, we're able to jump in and intervene straight away at the beginning of the year. And if they're really doing well in an area, we can provide some extensions and push them and accelerate them and meet them where they are. This also allows us to plan for next year. So we're able to budget for certain things that we might need to meet all of the school's goals in our school improvement plan. And it holds our school accountable to ensure that we are teaching grade level standards. And then, of course, it helps map each child's path towards middle school and the classes that you might need to take in order to be successful at the middle school level. Ms. Stevens, have I left anything out there with our purpose?
I think you did a great job.
All right. So moving right along. What, where, when, how. So everyone keeps asking, what are the subjects that are going to be tested? When is this going to happen? And like Ms. Stevens said, for those who are virtual, I've been in contact with you. Ms. Thomason's been in contact with you, and we've tried to get out as much information as possible. We are taking math, science, English, reading, and writing assessments. There's one per day. The longest the test would ever take a student is 65 minutes, unless they have extended time. And then the shortest one is 40 minutes. So they're not long. It's not meant to stress a student out, but it is meant to just kind of get a baseline of what we know and what we still need to work on. Where does this occur? It occurs at every school across the state of Arkansas and other states. Ours is specifically here at Landmark because that is our home school. So we're very excited to get to see our virtual kids come on campus and, just kind of virtual hug them and air high five them and let them know that we're still here for them. Our report time is between 7:15 and 7:30. 7:30, we start kind of moving through the building, going to the bathroom, etc., in order for assessments to start by 8:15. So we say 7:15 because we want to make sure everyone is here and we're not rushing. And I say that because that's super important. One of the ways that we can stress our kids out is by putting undue pressure on them by, oh my gosh, we're running late this morning, get out the door, go, go, go. So when we say 7:15, between 7:15 and 7:30, we're taking that pressure off of them and we're allowing them to just breathe and be kids that morning. We will have breakfast here on campus, so that takes that pressure off of parents. And then for virtual students, pickup time is 10:30. For all other students, we go back to our normal schedule at 10:30. We have rearranged our activity schedule to make sure that everybody's still getting activity time. So if they have music, art, PE, or not library, sorry, but music, art, PE, then they'll still get those classes. Testing is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The district opted not to do Mondays and Fridays in terms of an actual assessment, like the scheduled ones. We're going to be doing makeups on those days, but not a scheduled one. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then the following Tuesday and Wednesday, April 20th and 21st. All assessments are done via computer. This is not adaptive like the NWEA map. So if you remember, we talked about how NWEA map moves up and down based on the questions and whether they get it correct or incorrect. This is not like that. This assessment is grade level. It is all the standards they should have learned this year at their grade level. So third graders across the state and nation will all take third grade standards. Fourth grade will all take the fourth grade standards, and fifth grade will all take fifth grade standards. This is just a way for us to see how do we fare with other schools in our district, our state, and our nation. We have some very specific things that we need to address in terms of arrival, dismissal, and cell phone policy. I added cell phone policy on there today because I've had some questions pop up from parents in school status today. The school policy is straight from the PCSSD handbook. So, school policy is we're not supposed to have cell phones on during instructional time. And we've been kind of lax in terms of having it in the classroom in their backpack because we understand everyone's circumstances are different. And just, as long as it was off, it was able to be in the classroom. Well, during testing, we are not allowing it in the classroom at all. So students will turn it into their teacher. It'll be placed in a Ziploc bag with their name on a sticky note with their phone, and it will be locked up in the office where Miss Stevens, Miss Hanley, and Miss Nichols are the only ones who have access to it. So there will be no chance of your student's cell phone coming up missing. We do still understand your child may need that in terms of riding the bus or walking home or something like that. If they're, I don't know of anyone who walks, but if they go home with a friend or something like that, we're still trying to be understanding to that, but at the same time adhering to the policy, because if a cell phone goes off, say for instance your child forgets to turn their phone off and it goes off during testing, well, that's now a violation on our school, which we now have to document for the State Department, and it skews the data because we have interrupted and disturbed the testing environment. So that's all the cell phone policy is. I had, like I said, some parents question, well, why is my child signing this saying that they're not going to bring their phone? It's just something that the students sign anyway in the handbook. So we're just asking them to sign that they do understand that policy and we are enforcing it during those 5 days of testing. Do I have any more clarity for that, Ms. Stevens, that you want to provide?
No, but I do see that someone asked a question in the chat box. You absolutely get your devices back once you're
Oh, yeah.
done. It's just that we're storing them in a safe place and then we'll hand it back out. So it's with your sticky with your name on it in a bag in the office, very secure, just so that we don't have any issues, because inevitably that would be the one time that someone's cell phone rings. So just safe and out of the testing area, and then as soon as it's over, everything will be passed out. Even the teachers do the same thing. We won't be wearing our Apple Watches during testing. We won't have cell phones or anything like that. So the adults are doing the same thing that the kids are doing, just making sure that we don't get any violations.
Okay. So I hope that clears up any concerns or issues that people may have had with cell phone policy. Arrival, we are sticking to the 7:15, 7:30 as a good gateway to come into the building. Now, our absolute cutoff on arrival for testing, like to be admitted into a testing session, is going to be 8 a.m. If you arrive after 8 a.m., you will not be admitted into a testing session until after testing is all clear, which again is at 10:30. So we are telling parents right now, we're telling the students, please, 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 please be here between that 7:15, 7:30. We want you to have ample time. We want you not to stress. But if you're running a few minutes late, 7:35, 7:40, we get it. That happens. But if you're coming after 8 o'clock, you will not be admitted to the building. One of the things that we have to sign is that we're not moving within the building during testing. So therefore, we can't have any students coming in after that has started at 8 a.m. So arrival is absolutely strict on that. Show up after 8, you're not going to be admitted to the building until 10:30. Um, if you guys see any questions in the chat, I'll let y'all answer those. If any parent has a specific question about that, you guys are more than welcome to email myself or Miss Thomason, and we can, case by case answer those questions. Okay. Dismissal. If your child is a virtual child and riding a bus, there is no bus that's going to come and pick them up at 10:30 and take them back home. If they're riding a bus and they're virtual, they are going to stay the whole day, and it's a full day here on campus. Let me put your mind at ease that they're not going to be in the general classroom full with 28 kids. They are going to actually be with Miss Bell in her virtual classroom. So she has a room towards kind of the back over by Miss Kendrick, and it's kind of set off to the side away from everybody. And she's going to be housing the 3rd and 4th grade virtual kids. Now, 5th grade, your numbers are kind of lower, so you are going to be allowed to stay in your classroom with your homeroom teachers. I think both of them only have 14 or 15 kids anyway, So you will be allowed to stay in there with the numbers being that low. Again, if there's any questions from virtual parents regarding that, if they're riding a bus, please, call us, email us, school status us, and we're happy to answer those questions. As far as the pickup dismissal, that is our testing sessions end at 10:15, with the exception of the 20th and 21st. Those are a little bit earlier. And, we can send those schedules out again so that way you guys have those exact times. They're at home on your phones, parents, but dismissal will be between 10:15 and 10:30. We're asking that all virtual kids who are car riders are picked up by 10:30, so that way we can resume with makeup testing, we can resume with our normal schedule, we can start our kindergarten lunch, which starts at 10:30, and we're not having to hold kids and just kind of guess when you're coming. So again, dismissal is between 10:15 and 10:30 for our virtual kids who are car riders. If there's any questions regarding that, I can't say this enough, text, call, email, and we're happy to address those on a case-by-case situation. Ms. Stevens, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, just to clarify just a little bit, if you come regularly, traditionally every day, and you ride the bus, you'll be coming and going home just like you do every day. Or if you come traditionally and you ride in the car, you'll be coming and going home just like every other day. So for those of you that come on a traditional schedule, nothing is different. You'll be coming to school like normal, getting here on time, however you get here, and then going home at the same end time, just like every other day. So nothing is different for those cases. The stuff that's different is only for our virtual students who are coming to school. So, and some of them have varying schedules. So for those are the only cases that are a little bit different. So just to clarify, if you are traditional or even AB, but you come for the whole day of school, you'll continue to come for the whole day of school. If you are a blended student or your child is a blended student, and say you come on Monday, Tuesday, but we're taking a test on Thursday, and so you're coming on Thursday, you can absolutely stay all day or ride the bus, just the same way you would come on Monday, Tuesday if those were your regular days. So, and that's just stay in your regular homeroom. So that's completely fine.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Stevens, for clarifying that. So we're going to go ahead and move right along. So we had a second video, and I am going to add it to this so you guys can view it later. It's just having a hard time uploading to our slide deck right now. But this was a stress and anxiety, and then some teachers here at Landmark created a video of kind of what do you do to let that go and kind of helping you through easing your stress and anxiety. So this one just kind of, it shows what we've seen some of our kids dealing with this over this year when it comes to test anxiety and even just coming back to school anxiety. It's that feeling of you're just not sure, you're overwhelmed. And so again, we're going to add that other video in here, and then you guys can view both of them together. So it's stress and anxiety, and then how do we let that go? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this part for right now. And once we upload that, I will send out a school status as well as a Schoology update, letting you guys know that those videos are ready for your viewing pleasure. Okay. So parents, how can you guys help us and our other guardians? So anyone and everyone in the community who is involved with taking care of our students, our family, our kiddos. How are you guys going to help us to ensure that this is successful? Well, first and foremost, we are going to make sure that all children are getting to bed early enough for a good night's rest. That I cannot stress enough. If we're only getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep, we're going to be very sleepy. We're going to fall asleep during the test. We're not going to give it our all. So we want to make sure that if your child, for them to be the best version of themselves, they need 6 hours. Well, let's make sure they're in bed, a couple hours earlier than they were normal, because their brain kind of needs that time to settle down and just kind of relax a little bit. If they need 8 hours, well, let's go an hour or two before that. Okay. So just kind of watching that process and making sure your kids are going to bed a little bit earlier than normal to make sure they're fully functioning and rested for the next day. In the morning, we're going to make sure our kids get up early enough to where they have a really great start. So what does that look like? What does that mean? They're able to get dressed, they're able to brush their teeth, they're able to be completely refreshed, They're able to come to you. You're able to give them words of encouragement and just tell them, I believe in you. You can do this. You got this. Okay. And then if you are typically a parent who wants your kid to eat at home, you're going to make sure that they eat a really good breakfast at home, or that you're bringing them in time to be able to eat their full breakfast with us here at school. And then finally, you're going to make sure that you give them those last few words of encouragement before they are headed out the door, whether it's on the bus, in the car, whatever. And you're just kind of letting them know, hey, I've got you. I believe in you. We've got this together. You and your teachers have this together, and you guys are going to rock this ACT Aspire. So we want to make sure that our kids know that we believe in them. We tell them that every day around here, and we know you're telling them that at home. So we just want to make sure that we're giving them that little bit of extra encouragement on those days. Ms. Stevens, do you want to add anything to that about how our parents and guardians can help us?
I think what you said is really important, just sending a good positive message on the way out the door in the morning. Um, just getting your headspace right first thing in the morning, for grown-ups and for kids. It always helps to get the day off on the right foot. And we continue to remind them to do their best and to stay focused, but that's all we're asking of them. We're not asking them to do more than their best. So just come with a good mind and a clear focus, and the rest will take care of itself.
Okay. All right. So, are there any questions, Ms. Thomason, in the chat that you saw that were over and over and over that we maybe need to address to the whole group?
I did see many people asking about Fridays. We will only utilize makeup Fridays for makeup testing. The test schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this next week, and Tuesday and Wednesday the following week. There's one test per day, so there's 5 days of testing. Mondays and Fridays will only be used for makeup testing in the event that we need to makeup tests that were missed.
So I'm going to go ahead and piggyback on what she said with that. So Fridays, like she said, are makeup. If your child is a virtual student and, we've been telling you Tuesday through Thursday and the following Tuesday, Wednesday, if we need your child here for any reason on Friday or Monday, we will contact you directly via phone, and we will schedule a time for them to come up here, because we can't have everybody just sitting here waiting on us, and we have to do them in grade specific bands. So like we'll have to do our 3rd grade makeups at one time, our 4th grade at one time, and our 5th grade. And we only have limited personnel here at the school who are trained and can help us with that process. So again, if your child has to make up a test, you will hear from us. Don't just send them to school and think, hey, they have a makeup test on Friday or Monday. They will not have one unless you hear from us. Okay. But if they are here every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, then you know that they do not need to be here on the 16th. So again, if they are in attendance the 13th, 14th, and 15th, there will be no testing on the 16th for your child. Okay. If they are here the 20th and 21st, then they will not have to make up on that Thursday or Friday either. So just make sure, that's why we're trying to say, we have 5 days set aside and it's a 3-hour window. Please work with us during this time frame to make sure that your kids are here, so that way we're not having to take any more time to bring your kid up here.
Okay, so just there was a few questions that have popped up since then, and yes, Jaden, Smaller Dad, you're absolutely correct. He can stay all day. He's a traditional student, so just like regular days, he can attend regularly. I see from Jace's mom, the questions that we have are different question types. So there are some multiple choice questions. There are some where you type in like 1-word answers. There's some where you type an essay. So the writing portion day, you write an essay the whole time. You just write one essay. There's some where you drag and drop. So it might be like drag these events from the story and put them in the order that they happened. There's some questions that maybe you read a story and it might say, there were 2 characters, and it might say compare and contrast these characters. How are they alike and how are they different? And so in that case, it would be a short answer. So there are some different question types, but they've been practicing them on the different types of things that they've done this year. They can also skip a question and mark it and come back to it at the end. So if they get hung up on one and they're like, oh, I'm just not sure, they can go on to the next question and just put a little mark next to it. And then once they get to the end and have some extra time, they can come back and review that question that they didn't know. So, or that they wanted to think a little bit more on, or maybe they'll come back with a fresh set of eyes once they've looked at some different questions. So it does have some different types. They get scratch paper on the math test, so we always want to encourage them to work their problems out and take their time. On the reading test, there are some tools they can use to highlight important details, or sometimes the teachers have worked with them on strategies such as like read the questions before you read the story so you know what you're looking for. But those are things that we've been working on. So hopefully, I think, you know, they're prepared. So, but if your kids are usually car riders, but we're unable to get them as the way to get them home on the bus. If you are a traditional student and your child needs to ride the bus, you'll need to call the office, and Miss Hanley can try to set up just regular transportation. Usually that takes several days if there's not a bus stop already assigned to your child, but it usually does take a few days. But if you need to switch your child to be a bus rider, or you want them to ride the bus sometimes, that's just a call to the office and we'll do a request for transportation. And sometimes that request takes a few days.
Okay, and then Ms. Stevens, to kind of piggyback on that, I know Ms. Soils, in addition to the classroom teachers, Ms. Soils has been working with the students when she goes in on test taking strategies and kind of how to calm your nerves and how to ease test anxiety.
Good deal. Okay, so I saw one person say that they weren't able to get to the Google form to sign in. Have most of you signed in? Because we'd like to pick a winner for our drawing and then let y'all get on with your evening. Or if you have students at the middle school, I know they're also having an ACT Aspire night at 6, so we want to make sure you can get to that.
First random number that we generated is number 3. LaShawna Bradley.
Hey, okay, first winner. Who's next?
Number 9, Brandy Johnson.
Chloe
And Trey Johnson's mom.
Okay, all right. So we've got 2 winners, and I'll get you all your gift cards tomorrow. So we've got Ariana's mom, and then we've got Chloe and Trey's mom. So good job. I'll give you my favorite avatar, which is the sparkler. Thank you all so much for participating. I know that it's a busy time of year and then it's dinner time and you'll probably have stuff to do. So this is important and we've worked really hard. So we just really appreciate your support and everything you've done for your children this year and everything you've done to help support us. And y'all are awesome. And so we're going to let you go and get on with your evening, but we'll have free dress passes for those of you all who attended. And so we'll get you taken care of, but thank you all so much for coming.